Welcome back to Let's Build a Tetris-Like with Unreal Engine 5. Today we're going to be looking at mobile-specific controls, so there's not going to be a lot of gameplay stuff or anything like that. But I also wanted to deal with different aspect ratios. This is basically just a video on multi-platform releases and some of the challenges there. Not all of them I fully expected, but the easy one. So under the project settings, there is a platforms area. And by the way, this is where you go to set up your APK. The platform files for Android are in here. And you just hit a button in here that automatically creates, I think it creates like the manifest and stuff. And then there's another one down here. But this is also where you change your icons for all the different types of displays, your splash screens and download screens and stuff for the Google Play Store. And I'm assuming it's going to be something similar for iOS. Yeah, it looks slightly different, but same idea. Icons, that kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't have a Mac, so I'm probably not going to be compiling this for iOS unless I can get one of my friends to do it. But in the meantime, let's go back up here. Look. So this is the name of the package. If you've never released anything on the Play Store before, Android has this like interesting naming convention for your projects and stuff. And then like version numbers and everything. But what I wanted to get into here is down here. If you set it to portrait, there's a lot more than that, but I kind of wanted this game to be played in portrait. The first game I made is called Quadri. I wrote it in C# using Monogame, the Monogame library. I made it years ago, probably 10 years ago now. But it has like the auto rotate capabilities, and it's more of like a standard Tetris experience. I still play it to this day. Actually, it's kind of funny. But anyway, it plays in portrait mode, and with the auto rotate ability, you can just kind of play with like one thumb, and that was kind of like the goal, is that you would just be able to sit there and play it like that. So I kind of want the same thing here, just to make better use of the screen real estate on a phone. But it's coming with its own challenges. So the aspect ratio, they put it in terms of a float number, which I thought was kind of odd. So you have to like do a little bit of math. And if you have the game set in 16:9 to play on PC, for instance, like I have here, I also made some other changes here that you'll notice. Anyway, so this is in 16:9. And I found that if I convert it 1:1 to go to 9:16 in portrait mode, it would just make the screen like it would make the thing look really, really far away. I think I can actually show that in here. Actually, let's look in here, open the full blueprint editor. I want to look at the camera. Constrain aspect ratio, and then we'll go to 16:9. File save. Oh wait, no, not 16:9. I want the other way is, I think, 0.5625, I want to say. I think that's what it was for portrait. Okay, yeah, so this is what it was looking like on mobile. It was like really far away and like kind of not like terrible to see, but it wasn't a great experience, especially on a smaller phone. So what I ended up doing, if you probably already saw it when I was over here, I switched this to just have a 1:1 aspect ratio. So, and then I took off the constraints. And when you do that, oh yeah, and I had to, actually, I don't think this needs to be checked. Yeah, because I ended up unchecking it. I was trying to get it to logically switch like on its own. In this setting here, where it overrides the aspect ratio, I tried this y-axis, x-axis, and then maintain major axis field of view, and it was sort of working, but not quite the way that I wanted. It was still a little unpredictable because of the different aspect ratios. So what I ultimately did was I just set the aspect ratio to 1:1. And in this camera, it looks weird until you start playing it. And it's still like zoomed out on PC, but that's less of a deal on PC. So I don't know. I might there's probably a better way to do this, but this is just kind of like the quick and dirty way that I set it up. And it's more or less working, and it looks good on mobile. It looks better on mobile, and it being zoomed out on PC is less of a big deal than it was on mobile. So yeah, all right, before I play this too long. Okay, so that's pretty much how I did it. I dealt with the different aspect ratios by just setting the aspect ratio to 1:1, and on Android it kind of cuts off the corners or the sides, and on PC it just kind of is like zoomed out. And this isn't terrible because I needed to eventually zoom out anyway, because this area up above is going to be like up here. This is where the floating cube that you're building is going to be, and I was zoomed in too close to be able to see that anyway, based on the previous way I had it set up. So yeah. I keep distracting myself playing. All right, so that's that. What was the other thing I wanted to cover in this video? So, oh yeah, the mobile specific controls. So what I ended up having to do here was I created a new input action, and in the enhance input, those are like actual things that you build. They're actual U assets is the word I'm looking for. So I had to create a separate one. I did one for touch and one for using a cursor, and then I'm probably gonna have to do another one for like controls, or well, maybe not. Well, yeah, if I'm not using auto rotate, I might have to set it up. So anyway, so I had to create that, and then I set it up to trigger the move tetramino action touch based on touch, and then cursor based on the left mouse button. And so that's set up, and then I had to go over to go up to the player board, and then I had to go into C++. It's over here. And I had to add those new tetramino move tetramino things here, so, and that exposed them to blueprints, and then I had to add my new action here. And what that allows me to do is now we have separate movement that needed to be called for both the cursor and the touch. So set tetramino move direction, I think it was. No. There it is. Okay, so get input location cursor and get input location touch. So those are the new functions that I created. One of them I just overwrote. The get input location cursor was existed already. I just changed the order that these things were being called in. So I had to set them up with the enhanced input and then bind them based on the different input actions that there are. And so up above, the only difference is that when you're using a cursor, you have to use get hit location or get hit result under cursor. And then for touch screens, you want to use get hit result at screen position and then pass in the screen position that is getting set in this value here. And then you have to cast it to an effector 2D. The reason why I had to do this was because on mobile, there is apparently an invisible cursor. So this was working for the most part, but as soon as you would take your finger off, the input would send a 000 right at the last second, and it would move the Tetramino as soon as you did it. So it was messing up the controls, and it just wasn't working properly. So now they call the input location, and then once it has that, I'm passing the hit result location. Oh, clicked and dragged. And then I'm passing the hit result into the move direction, and then I'm doing the calculations from there. So before there was like an extra step in between these two, but now it's going straight to there. So I could probably move this into check set in play. No, because this is only doing, it's just checking if the Tetramino is in play, and if it isn't, it's setting a new one. So no, that's good. And I'll leave this note here. There's no need for a null check. All right, so I think that's everything I wanted to go over in this video. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you in the next one.